Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest FPL Elite FPL stream. Myself and Jason. Where tonight I'll do the line. We're taking your, your calls, so make sure that you get into the Discord. You know what the Discord is. The link's in the description if you don't know. But basically, it's the way you get to interact with me and Jason live to talk about your team. So if you want to talk about your teams, come live on air. But I'm certainly going to be talking to Jason about his team that he did.
Hello, testing 1 2 3. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Let me find out. Let me know. Sorry about this.
Yeah, let us know. We've just had a moderator meeting.
Steve-O. Carry on and chat with the audience.
We've just had a moderator meeting, and there's a couple of things that we can bring to your attention at some point today. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a minute, but I'll just quickly go for the chat, say hello to a few of the people that joined in. Everything FPL, Brew, Animations, FPL, Fozzie, David, my YouTube channel, A. Dawson, FPL, Fozzie's here. Hello there. Phil Stones, David Brown. Phil, I thought you were a member. No. Colm Bulger. Colm, have I sent you the code for the YouTube chat league? Let me know in here, basically. Karma Baby, Podner, FPL, Matty wins a lot, Matthews, Aishi, Dilkington, many more, Jace.
Yeah, awesome, guys, amazing. I just thought I'd change up the intro a little bit because I love that song. I found out about it the other day. It got linked to me, and it's just oh, there we go. There's the camera. It's working now. Oh my goodness, what's going on? I'm pressing stuff. But there we go. I have to move that over now. Hello everybody. I don't know what's happened. That intro's just ruined the overlay for some weird
yeah. Now the audio's gone rubbish apparently.
The audio's gone rubbish.
Echo. Apparently Jason's got echo. And by the way, we're doing.
Oh no! What about now? There's no echo now. Surely we're good. Let's just start again, shall we?
We can edit this out of the podcast, Jason.
No, we'll start again. Right, say welcome everybody. Go on, Steve. Go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the latest Elite FPL stream with myself and Jason, where we are going to be taking your calls.
Nowhere else would you get this quality
your teams,
quality FPL content.
Yeah. So we'll be taking your calls tonight because that's what we're here for the Monday night call-in. Is taking your calls, discussing your team dilemmas ahead of the game this week, which kicks off on Friday evening. Jace, I want to talk to you about your team and everything. Like I said, we got a few things that we spoke about in the moderator meeting about 10 minutes ago. But no, Jace, your team that you did the other day.
What about it?
Are you happy with it?
It's not final.
I thought it was very good, barring one player.
Oh, well, actually, I've had more thoughts about it now. I've had more thoughts about my team, and I've decided that there may be a few changes that need to be made due to certain things that have happened.
And what are those things that have happened? Because I don't know of anything that would have changed your mind.
Looks like Harry Kane doesn't look like he might be. Looks like he's going to be staying at Spurs, which is interesting.
He was always going to be staying. There was no way in hell he was going to be going to Bayern Munich. Not a chance.
He's always going to stay, was he?
Yeah, I wish that you lot pulled your finger out and paid the money to bring him into your club, because I think he would be incredible.
He's too old now.
It doesn't matter. He's a goal scorer. He is the missing link for you to be challenging for the title.
Levy wouldn't want more. Like, he would want like 125 million plus probably for him. Nah, not worth it. Hello, everybody. Let's change the subject. No, I don't think so. No, don't think it is. I think we buy someone young that we can have for 8+ years. That'd be ideal. You got David in the chat, Podder's in the chat, Max Roberts is there in the chat too, Karma Baby, Thomas Maynard's, Dread's there. sorry about the technical difficulties again earlier on in the stream. I do apologize. God, it's just amateur hour. It really is. But yeah, I'm going to be changing my team. I've already looked at some other combinations. I've not set them in stone. I've not pressed the save button yet, but I do think that my team's going to change come game week 1. Yeah, 100%. I do.
I don't think it's going to change that much.
Oh, it's going to change. And you'll be surprised.
You're still going to have salary, you see.
You're going to be surprised.
I don't think I will.
You will. You will be very surprised. Yeah.
The only way I would be surprised with your team is if you went Kane over Haaland, which was a thought process I had yesterday. Not going to lie. I was not impressed by Man City at all in that Community Shield. Did you watch the game?
No, I didn't. No. Tell me
Arsenal
about it.
looked good. Arsenal, brilliant. If they didn't have Kai Havertz up front and they had, a quality striker, Jesus. But in all seriousness, if they had a striker up front, they would have won the game outright. Unfortunately, there was just no one up front to put the ball in the back of the net. Man City they were, in my opinion, just very flat, usual ball possession. But I was not impressed by Man City, and there was a thought. I'd be mad to do it, but there was a thought process. Do I really need Haaland? Really?
Well, are you gonna go back? Are you gonna change it?
No, that would be beyond madness. But I was not that particularly impressed. Alvarez, you had Alvarez in your team the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He looked all right. He looked okay. But overall, I was just like, no, I'm not interested in City at all, other than having to go with Haaland. But I think from your point of view, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, Jason's team, if anything, it will either end up being the 4-4-2 with Salah in it, or you'll go 3-5-2 still with Salah, but you'll go with Spurs assets. And you'll get Maddison in the team. Maybe even Son. Maddison's probably the better option, as Brew will attest to. I think, though, that you're going to be relatively template like my team. Which is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But with my team being essentially about as template as it can get, I think you'll just throw in the odd differential in there. Nothing to the extreme of Garnacho, but certainly the likes of Maddison.
Why do you think Garnacho is an extreme? Purely because he's going to be kicked down the pecking order when Højlund's back,
he's a great player.
You can have Rashford on the left hand side fighting with Sancho for minutes.
Yeah,
is that what you're thinking? Because I look at, as a football fan, I watch Garnacho and I'm like, I love watching him play. He just wants to be. He's for me he's a better. He offers more than Sancho. And he's a very he's a flair player he's a youngster that's got a point to prove, and I think that he's a gem. I think he's an absolute gem, and I think anyone that's wanting to take a risk on him for 5 million, I think it's fine. I honestly do. 5 million. Let's see, no issue with that. Even if you just want to have him as a first sub, but if you don't want to have him as a risk in your team, just but I'm thinking about Jackson now. I'm thinking I don't want Chelsea. I don't want to start the season with Chelsea players. And I'm thinking I'd rather have Darwin over Jackson. I genuinely would. So I'm making decisions already that I'm thinking in my head, why am I jumping early on the Chelsea this Chelsea non-existent bandwagon that we don't know what Chelsea's going to take that pitch? There's injuries up front. Yeah, Jackson's not exactly prolific, is he? Let's be honest. He's going to get service, but I don't know. Against Liverpool, it's not going to be a cakewalk for him. I think Liverpool win that game.
It's either going to be a high-scoring win for one of the teams, mainly Liverpool, or it will be 1-1.
Yeah, I think I'm more inclined to go with Darwin.
Even though today he hasn't even. I don't think he started today.
He's resting him, isn't he?
Yeah, he's resting him.
Yeah. Evening
I think
for
your mate Gakpo is the one.
Gakpo. What was the score? What was the score of the Liverpool game today?
They're playing now. They're going into the second half.
What is the score?
I have no idea. Let us know in the chat. A quick one. Talking of chat, no weak foot. What is your name? If you can DM me like you did the other day, can you DM me your actual name in FPL, because I don't know it, basically, just to confirm who you are. Max Roberts has donated a donation here. Good morning from Tokyo.
Tokyo?
That's mental.
What's that?
Struggling to watch as my internet is very laggy. Well, the irony in the city of technology. I'll watch this back tomorrow. Hope everyone is ready for Friday. Yeah, I pretty much am, Jace.
I thought I was, but now I'm second guessing my selection because.
Can you do me a favor? Put your team in the team screenshots, and I'm gonna, because I've already put my team.
You've seen my team, haven't you?
Yeah, but I can't remember it. So if you put it in the team screenshots and you've got my team there, if you want to put it up on screen and read it out.
Okay, I'll stick it. I'll stick
for the podcast listeners.
Yeah, we'll read it out. We'll read it out to you guys. We're gonna put this out as a podcast as well. Okay, let me just screenshot this for you, Steve.
Yeah, and just a quick one. No weak foot. You need to send me your actual name on the FPL account. I don't know what it is, I'm afraid. So here we are. Right. Okay. Thank you. Right,
the donations just come through, so be quiet a second.
Max Roberts 1 donated £5 through Super Chat. Good morning from Tokyo. Struggling to watch as my internet is very laggy. We'll watch this back tomorrow. Hope everyone is ready for Friday.
Thanks, Max. Again, appreciate it. I'll stick it in the team screenshots now, Steve-o, and then I'll stick your team up on the screen as well. Let me just scroll down and find it.
There you are now in. Brilliant. Cool. Dan's there, by the way, Jace. Dan is in the chat. Dan, if you want to come live on air, talk to us about yesterday and how well you performed, because I thought you were bloody brilliant yesterday. Really impressed.
Really?
Apart from Havertz. Other than that. Nuclear Atom saying Diaz is the one that's most nailed after Salah. Most nailed. And Cuckoo is going to be out for 2 months. Have you heard that news, Jace?
I'd have now. So
it was confirmed earlier.
Wow, okay. So your team here is Johnston in goal, Chilwell, Shaw, Gabriel, Fernandes, Saka, Eze, Martinelli, Rashford, Watkins, Haaland. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it's
temper.
Yeah, there's nothing really there that scares me that I don't own. I don't own Watkins, doesn't scare me. Don't own Martinelli, doesn't scare me. Don't own Eze, doesn't scare me. I mean, I've got Rashford. I think Bruno will be playing as on the pivot with. I think Mason Mount and Bruno will interchange. You'll have parts of the game where Bruno goes forward, but you'll also have parts of the game like we've seen in pre-season where Mount will go forward and be advanced. So Bruno will play like a bit deeper. So not too worried about that. I'd rather have Anthony or Garnacho. If I knew that one of them was playing, I'd rather one of them.
Anthony's going to be starting. Come on, Chase.
Yeah. Okay. I'd rather have Anthony than Bruno Fernandes. Mock me. Go on. Mock me. I don't care.
Mate, when I saw people mocking you on the chat the other day, I thought, well, to be fair, barring, his end product, Anthony is a very good player. And you made the point, look, he's going to improve a lot this season. Maybe he's the one, Jace.
Maybe.
Because I am seriously still tempted by the 4-4-2 with Salah in the team, and it can be. I've got it in front of me right now. It would mean removing Fernandes and Martinelli and getting rid of, Shaw and Johnston, and bring in Anana and Estupinan, and that'll be it. It's the two dilemmas I'm going through: 3-5-2 or 4-4-2 with Salah. That is my two dilemmas. Other than that, I am very, very, very happy with my team.
Okay. So what did you think? So I've shared my team in the Discord. What did you have to say about it?
Yeah, it's reminded me of what it is. So your team is a non-ring goal, Stupinan, Gabriel, Chilwell, Salah, Matoma, Saka, Rashford, Garnacho, Jackson, Haaland. Of all those players, it's just Jackson and Salah that worry me.
Okay.
I couldn't care less about Brighton.
What about Harry Kane? Let's bring up Harry Kane. He's not. It looks like he's staying at Spurs. He's got Maddison behind him now. Are we thinking Kane could be a potential replacement for, instead of Salah having Harry Kane?
I looked at it. I genuinely did look at it today. A 4-4-2 with Kane instead of Salah. It's so tough to call between the two. Harry Kane is going to be scoring goals for fun this year. Salah, his attacking returns, I personally think, are going to be spread so vastly. He's still going to return really, really well because he's got four excellent players to be providing, or more specifically, he's got four excellent players in front of him / to the left of him to provide, to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think it's going to infuse him more to perform better, even though he's completely non-rotation risk whatsoever. But Harry Kane, though, I genuinely mean this. If Haaland against Burnley looks like garbage and they win, because the history is suggesting a 2-0 win. So Haaland scores in a 2-0 win, but he comes off in the 70th minute, and the only way he scored was through, like, off the back of the knee or something, I don't know, whatever. And he looks terrible. And then against Newcastle, scores again, but looks absolutely pants still. But Harry Kane looks on it. Spurs look on it. And I think genuinely, I would probably go to hell with Haaland. I'm getting Kane. Genuinely. And I think a lot of people feel the same, because I think it's pretty much bordering on insane going without Haaland game week 1. Now you could link him up with Kane, true. A. Dawson is saying that he's got Harry Kane along with Haaland in the team, but I personally would rather have, if I was having a gun held to my head, I'd have Salah and Kane rather than Kane and Haaland.
I've just realised that updating this software to the latest version has stopped me from being able to interact with the fantasy FPL fantasy football website, which is very handy. So let me just see if I can create a new one whilst we're talking. But yeah, I'm actually at the point now where I'm thinking getting Maddison in, and then just having that Tottenham cover with Maddison is going to be feeding Harry Kane, and just and then have one of Gakpo or Nunes instead of Salah, like, and then just spread the money out.
The thing is, there's not many teams that I've seen where I've gone, blimey, that's a serious threat to my team per se. Now, Matty FPL's team, again, we're only going to be talking about teams regarding the people that are coming on the show, but I'm just using this as a simple example. So Matty's team, I look at this and I go a 3-5-2 with Haaland, Salah, and Maddison. The only downside to his team, in my opinion, is the fact that he's got the Brighton striker Pedro, but he's probably a guaranteed starter. The coverage he's got across those teams is just disgusting. And again, it is, and I don't like Steele either. I don't like the double up in Brighton defence. I'd rather have either Pickford or Johnston as a simple example. But certainly it is a team where I look at and go, if you had, let's just put it this way, if you had this team, so Steele in goal, Diaz, Gabriel, Estupinan, Rashford, Saka, Salah, Maddison, Eze, Haaland, Pedro, I'd be thinking, oh shit, that's strong. That's looking really, really good. Like, really good. The only downside to Matty's team is that his bench is absolute garbage, is all I would say. It's Turner, Barmer, Bulldog, and Kabora. But most of us have that anyway. So, yeah, that's a team that I would personally be looking at and going, that's frightening. But that's a frightening team to be owning.
Are you worried about not owning Harry Kane then? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, who are you more worried about not owning, Salah or Harry Kane?
Salah.
Interesting.
Salah's the one that I'm worried about. I don't really care. I'm not really too fussed about Harry Kane. But again, I reiterate, if he starts scoring,
like he did last season, when you said the same thing, not fussed about not owning Harry Kane. He scored, and I said, what if he scores every game? You're like, well, nah, and then he did.
And that's interesting. We were just talking about something in the moderator meeting, and Nuclear Atoms has received this. A YouTube survey just popped up about this stream for me. I rated it 5 stars and clicked on the option enjoyable.
Rated what? A survey? A survey just came up. Well, yeah, because they want to know if it's appropriate for kids. No, it's not. It's not.
It has been so far, but yeah, I think
it won't be by the time we've finished.
But certainly the team that I'm seeing in front of me here with Matty's team, and if you were to go with that, I'd be like, well done, Jason. I genuinely mean this. I would say you played a blinder.
You're full of crap, man.
I'm not. I'm being absolutely
You are
serious.
full of rubbish.
You've got, I mean, Brighton's fixtures aren't exactly screaming at me to go, wow, they're going to be absolutely... Luton at home could be profitable. Wolves away, forget it. West Ham at home, horrible. Newcastle at home, horrible. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute they can't score. They're just horrible fixtures, Wolves and West Ham. They're vile. They're absolutely vile. And Newcastle as well. They're horrible fixtures. They ain't going to be keeping that many clean sheets. But from an attacking perspective, who gets them the goals? Well, they've got about 400 midfielders to choose from. Hence why I don't like Matoma. Is Matoma a good option? Yeah. No denying it. But I think he's more this season, and this is based on absolutely nothing other than my own opinion. I think he's just going to be providing lots of assists this year for the likes of, March, Pedro, Welbeck, Gross, and God knows whoever else plays for bloody Brighton. Undav.
I mean, have you thought about doing a 3-4-3 formation?
I don't think I think there's too many good. There's not enough striker options for me.
Well, you say that, but I've got a question for you. Instead of going Salah, you could split your bets and go with Gakpo and Darwin.
No, it's terrible.
Look,
because they both won't be playing.
Well, They won't both be playing at the same time?
No. No.
You could go Gakpo or Darwin, and then one of them could be a placeholder for Højlund for Man United.
Yeah, but that's going to be for a very...
Couple of weeks, he'll be back.
I thought he wasn't back till...
2 weeks. 2 weeks, I reckon.
Oh, I was...
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah, he's back. He'll be back. He's fine. Nothing wrong with him.
Okay, so Liverpool's fixtures versus Chelsea away, where, like I said, it could end up 1-1 or 3-1, 3-2 to Liverpool, where, yes, Gakpo/Nunes could score quite well. And then the following week, it's, okay, at home to Bournemouth, where I would be predicting 3-4, 5-0. And then you're saying that, right then, Højbjerg's fit and ready for Nottingham Forest at home. I get rid of Gakpo that's away at Newcastle. I mean, it's a good plan. It's a very good plan, but there's no guarantee that Gakpo/Nunes.
Well, okay, let me just take Gakpo out. Let's get Gakpo out and put Jackson back in, right? And then we say Mitoma can go out, and then I can stick in old to be honest, it's like, for me, it's all about like that Liverpool team. How is it going to shape up? How is he going to play it? Or I could just put the money in defence and keep Mitoma and just go upgrade. Bring Robertson in or something.
How are Liverpool going to shape up? I'll tell you exactly how they're going to shape up. It's called attack, attack, attack.
Yeah, this is why I'm thinking it might be worth having the two assets. One of Darwin, Gakpo. Sorry, I'm coughing a lot. What's the other guy? Luis Diaz.
I mean, Dread's just said there he's got the third now for Liverpool.
Liverpool's front three have all scored. Salah assist. It could be their lineup. Let's have a look at the lineup for Liverpool. 1 second.
While you're doing that, so Liverpool's front three, everything FPL saying here, have all scored, and Salah has got one of the assists as well. Mark is saying should not be touching any Liverpool attackers barring Salah.
I think I'm gonna risk it.
What's that?
I think I'm just gonna. Let's have a look here. Lineups, Liverpool. It's got Diaz, Jota, and Salah. Gakpo's playing in midfield. Is Jota a midfielder or an attacker?
A midfielder. He is a midfielder. Yeah.
But Nunez isn't even playing, is he?
No.
How much is Jota?
I think he's 8 million. I think. Keyword being, I think.
Yes.
It's all down to the, as I mentioned the other day on the video, it's all down to how much FOMO you have over these particular individuals.
Well, it's mainly just like Salah's 12.5 million,
yes.
or like you could be like, right, I'm gonna go really brave and just go Alvarez over Haaland.
No.
Are we going crazy in territory now?
That's stupid talk.
Is it though?
Yeah, I would not be having Alvarez on his own. I think that's just you're now. What did someone say the other day on the stream? You're fishing. you're fishing for no reason. You've already caught your fish.
I'm not fishing. I'm just look. Do you know what the biggest thing I hate is that everyone's so focused on the template, and everyone's so laser beamed on the whole. We've got to have Ireland in the team. We've got to have X amount of players from this team, X amount of players. And I was thinking, why can't you just shake it up a little bit and have maybe some other options, like bring in Alvarez, bring in Foden,
you can. No one's saying you can't.
But you're gonna risk having Nunes benched or Darwin or Diaz benched and Alvarez benched first game week. You could have like 3 or 4 players benched. I get what you're saying.
As Gary / Harbour Boy says every single time, there's a reason why there's a template, because these are the players that score on a regular basis. Keyword being regular. You can't rely on the likes of who you've just mentioned, Nunes, Alvarez, Maddison, to name 3. Yes, you can work on genuine percentages of probable outcomes of, for argument's sake, as I did with my points predictions the other day here on this famous piece of paper. Maddison is a player who I think
I might be a bit different this season. I think I will be a bit different. I get what you're saying, and I think there is definitely going to be shocks, and there's definitely going to be benchings, and there's definitely going to be people that are going to have to hope and pray that they get points off the bench.
For a team like mine, none of my players are being benched. Not one. But in your team, as I'm looking at it right now, you've got Garnacho as a simple example, who there's no way in hell he's playing, but there's a high chance he comes off and plays.
No way in hell he's playing.
Not to start.
If you go on form and their performance alone, he should be given the opportunity.
Sean Dyche, for instance, when they're talking about players that have come in from some wonderful European team, you don't care. If you don't want to start him, he won't start him. It's the same with Ten Hag. It doesn't matter how much good form Garnacho is in. I don't think he starts him. He may come on for 20, 25 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes. But to play 65, 70 minutes plus, it ain't happening, unfortunately, for Garnacho. Unless, for argument's sake, whoever plays on the left-hand side is performing so badly that Garnacho's highlighting how bad they are. So Ten Hag goes, do you know what? I'm going to give you the Nottingham Forest game. I want you to prove to me that you starting, you're going to pull up trees. And then during that Nottingham Forest game, he scores a goal and sets up a couple of assists for whoever, and you go and win 3 or 4-0. That's just a simple example. That's the only way these players get into these teams, by proving their worth when they're given the opportunity to start. But it's being given the opportunity to start because is he going to start against Wolves? I would put a 20% chance on it. Is he going to start against Arsenal? Forget it. But in those 2 games, if he was to perform very, very well, and the likes of, I don't even know what players you've got, to be honest with you. I mean, what position does Garnacho take up? As in, which players does he threaten?
Well, it's left wing, isn't it? So it would be Jadon Sancho and Rashford if he's not playing up front.
Well, we know Rashford is not going to play. We know Rashford is going to be starting no matter what.
Yeah, up front. Yeah, he'd playing up front, striker. Yeah. So it's going to be so it's either Sancho or Garnacho.
Yeah, and we know
I would play Garnacho over Sancho.
So would I. Yeah, so would I. From what I've seen of Garnacho, he looks phenomenal. But unfortunately, Ten Hag doesn't see it that way. Sancho. That's what it will be. So, it's something that
Alex Dawson says, "I'll take 20 minutes of Garnacho over 70 minutes of Sancho." Yeah, I would. To be fair,
I'd take 70 minutes of Trossard over 70 minutes of Martinelli, but it ain't going to happen. Trossard deserves to start for Arsenal. Dan, come on, let us know. But shall we bring on a caller, Jace? I know that Dread's been waiting for a while.
Yeah, bring him on. We can. I've swapped my team around a little bit. You can.
Okay, well, while you're sorting that, we'll bring on Dread if you want to jump on as well, Jace. Because you can bring up his team as well in 2 seconds. But Dread's team is going to be there up on the screen.
You're gonna have to turn me down, I think.
Yeah, for you guys to see. So, Dread, my friend.
How you doing, mate? You right?
Yeah, well, looking at your team here, it's pretty straightforward. We got Onana in goal, Chilwell, Gabriel, Estupinan, Saka, Maddison, Rashford. Oh, Rashford captain, you cheeky. Martinelli, Pedro, Nicholas Jackson, Haaland. Where's Wilson gone?
Wilson?
Yes, I saw a draft that you had at Wilson.
That was ages ago. I had a Wilson draft, yeah.
Ages ago? It was like 3 days ago, wasn't it?
He's long gone.
So, what's made you come to this decision here of these this 3-4-3, and how likely is this when you're at Fantasy Football Fest and it's at 6:25? You're going, yep, this is it. Confirm.
I really like this. I wanted João Pedro. I've always been of the mind that if Brighton ever got a good striker, I'd be all over it. And it seems to be that Pedro may well be their number one striker. He's got the number 9 shirt. He like record signing or what have you. And Brighton are a high XG team, and they've got the first 3 fixtures are awesome. And I reckon I'll probably just leave him benched if I don't want to play him.
Hold on, Dredd.
Yeah.
The first 3 fixtures are, and I quote, awesome. No.
Yeah, they're awesome. I like them. I like them for goals anyway. I don't know. I'm not talking about defence. I like them for goals though.
What, Wolves away, who don't concede at home, and then West Ham.
Yeah, all 3 of those things. Yeah.
Okay. I think Luton is the most profitable, if I'm honest. And yet, ironically, Luton are a team who, in the Championship last season, okay, it was the Championship, but they barely conceded any goals away from home. In fact, they were better away from home than they were at home.
Oh, they're in the Premiership now. I'm not taking anything away.
Jared, last
season's data is rubbish now. They're in the big boys league.
Jared, can I just ask you why no Liverpool?
Because it's too hard to find out who to get if you're not getting Salah and if you're not getting Trent because of the funds and everything. It's an absolute lottery as to who to get, who's going to get the minutes, who's going to get the goals. So I'll take a look and see how they pan out, and then I can make a better educated guess later on in the season or next coming game weeks or what have you. So yeah, no.
Like for your first wild card or something, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I must say though, this Pedro. I mean, Dan is asking about Watkins. Watkins is an outstanding pick, and he is somebody that I do have FOMO over if I don't own. But I could probably get away with not owning him in the first fixture. And in theory, I could have this Pedro in as a placeholder for Watkins for game week 2, doing the hokey cokey transfer of Pedro and then Watkins in, and because I just don't see Watkins doing anything against Newcastle, to be honest. But Pedro at home to Luton, I'm not going to pretend that I can't see him not doing something, because based on what you've just said and what I've been occasionally reading on Twitter, he does seem like a surefire, guaranteed starter for Brighton. And it would in turn mean I could certainly use that 2.5 to upgrade potentially someone to Salah.
You know, a 5.5 million striker for Brighton who's also on pens. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. What more do you want for a bargain?
Yeah. Exactly. I'll tell you what, I'm looking at this here and I'm thinking, this is why I love doing these call-ins, because it really does make
And
you
then
think about how to get into certain
Jackson,
players.
again, 7 million, another bargain, I reckon, because unfortunately, it's really unfortunate in Kunku's injury. Really sorry for the guy. I hope he comes back quickly. But Jackson's now the only proper striker they've got, right?
Yes.
So he's in. With those fixtures, he's absolutely in.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll be on. I don't know if
doing...
I don't know if he'll be on pens as well. But I mean, he might be. I've got no idea. But so yeah, I've got like 3 strikers who who well, we know Haaland is, but those other 2 may be the main strikers for their teams. And these are 2 teams that I believe that have lots of chances created for them. And so that's good. The money's good. I'm sold. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for goals. I'm looking for points. I'm looking for bargains, so I can have more. This team has 3.5 million in the bank, by the way.
I'm not allowed to swear, am I?
So like, you know, obviously we know things go mental in the first few games, especially around game weeks 3 to 4 and what have you and everything. So with 3.5 million in the bank, I'm pretty much ready for anything.
How on earth have you got 3.5 in the bank with that team?
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
know it's all 4 million defenders on your bench. I get that, but
no, I've got 1 4 million. Oh no, I've got 2 4 million defenders.
yes.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's right.
4.5 mid in SAR.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I like it. I really like this team. I know it's not the 3-5. It's not the 3-5-2 everyone's doing. And the 3-5-2 is awesome and everything. But like, I'm looking at it, and I've got the core of the template. Right? I've got the template back 4. Nana, Gabriel, Chilwell. Everybody's got that, right? I've got Saka, Martinelli, and Rashford. Pretty much there again. Everybody's got that. I'm fighting the template with Maddison, Pedro, and Jackson. So I'm putting what? Maddison up against who? Bruno? I'll take that fight. Jackson up against, I don't know, Watkins. I'll take that fight too. And then Pedro against, I don't know, Matoma and Bumo, whoever. I'll take that fight as well. I'm good.
Well, I'm going
I like it. Dread, I really like it. I really like it. I respect it. It's different, and I think there's a chance I could go with a 3-4-3 formation as well, start of the season, genuinely, because you know you've got options up front which are cheaper options. João Pedro is a great option. Obviously, he's going to be competing with what's his name, Ferguson and Welbeck, but I think he may just play behind in the 10 possession.
I don't think Ferguson's played any preseason minutes.
Well, no, I'm talking like the first 4 game weeks. I mean, over the first 4 game weeks, you might find that.
To be honest, Pedro's first 3 game weeks, and after that, I'll probably just bench him and go to a 3-5-2.
Yeah, I like it. I really do. And in fact, I've just been playing around with my team, looking at that, and I've kind of similar with the front 3 of Jackson, Pedro, and Haaland. It's allowed me to keep Salah in my team.
Yeah. Pedro is definitely the Salah enabler if you're going that way.
And it look like I'm quite happy with this. I mean, there's going to be a few people that are going to be like, "What the hell are you doing, Jay?" But I've gone the 3-4-3, and I'll play Gabriel, Estepinian, Chilwell, Saka, Salah, Maddison, Anthony, and then Jackson, Haaland, Pedro, Garnacho first sub.
Yeah, I'm loving it, mate. I really think for the first just 3-4 game weeks or whatever, I'm really liking the 3-4-3. I think I'll go to the 3-5-2 later, but I'm really liking this at the moment because, like, I've always wanted a way to get into the Brighton attack, and I wasn't happy with Matoma, I wasn't happy with March, all those guys. I'm like, what's going on and everything? But Pedro, and he's a million less than those guys. I'm like, okay, I'll take that one. I like that one.
Odin in the chat saying anyone else going without anyone else going with Salah and Kane, no Haaland? No, I don't think many people are going to be brave enough to do that. It's an option.
I did a draft just to see what it looked like, the Salah Kane draft, and to be honest, it's not bad. It's really not bad.
Who do you have for Man City, if any?
Oh, hold on. Let me just pull it up. I've got it on. What does it? Let me just load it. So I'm using FPL team, by the way. FPL team's awesome. Right. So the Salah Kane draft. I've got a midfield. I've got Salah, Martinelli, Rashford, Saka. I've got Kane, Jackson, Pedro up front. I've got Gabriel, Chilwell, Stupid. So, I've got Johnston in goal on this one, and not Onana. But apart from that, it's the template.
You're missing Man City, though, aren't you?
Yeah, there's no Man City in there at all.
I could do Kane, Jackson, Pedro, and then have a slot in midfield reserved for any Man City asset. But the problem is a slot in midfield. How much is De Bruyne?
He's 10 mil, right?
He's 10.5.
10.5. Yeah, nah, that's not going to work, dude. Yeah, the Salah Kane draft. You're literally not going with any unless you put like a Stones in or something for Chilwell, maybe.
Yeah, but it's like, I think it's rotation City, isn't it, with Foden?
Yeah,
and Silva. You just don't want to.
I mean, it's a brave thing to do because come game week 3, when they're really really good fixture run starts, and they've got like Sheffield, you're just going to be like massive sofa time.
To be honest, it's not the worst thing. Like to go with Salah and Kane in your team. I think the points that Salah and Kane can bring into your team, could it offset Haaland if you had the likes of Foden and Bernardo Silva in your team? But at that point, you're going to have so many benching headaches, and you're going to have so many like. Is it like I said, didn't I? I said you don't want to be starting a season with players that are not going to be starting games. Or they're going to be rotation risks straight from the beginning. Like, because you're going to be almost in wildcard territory straight away.
I mean, it's really. So from the template, it's really good because so you got Kane up against Haaland, and then you've got Salah in, who's just up against who will be missing here. It's like Bruno, I guess. It's Saka, Rashford, Martinelli, Salah. I think if you were brave enough
I'm almost at the point. If I was not going to have Haaland, I would have to have 2 Man City to make up for it. Alvarez. One of Alvarez, Foden, or Alvarez,
I think
Stones.
it works best. I think it works best if you're not going to go with Haaland, you just completely just dump City assets. Just don't go with any of them.
He'll play Alvarez though, won't he? You'd like to think.
What, you'd rather have Alvarez than Jackson?
No, I'd rather have Alvarez than that cheap Pedro.
Than Pedro?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, for the extra million, I suppose.
Yeah,
but I'd still rather have Pedro than Alvarez, to be honest. Pedro's got pens as well, so.
But you could have Kane, Salah. You could bring Rashford back in, and then you'd have a 4.5 midfielder. Oh no, you couldn't.
You can have a 4-5. There is a 4-5 you can have.
Yeah, but it's not. It's you defender. You've got I've got an extra defensive position.
You have to downgrade Onana. You have to get your 0.5 out of Onana now.
Yeah,
you have to make those sacrifices. If you go for the premiums, you have to make sacrifices.
I could go 4.5 defender. So 4.5 defender would be. People talk about Spal, but I don't even know clue who he is. 4.0. Colwill for Chelsea. Colwill for Chelsea. He'll be okay for the first few weeks.
Colwill, yeah.
So then in this will be the no Haaland draft. Alvarez playing, so it'd be a 3-4-3 formation again. It would be Gabriel, Estepinian, one of Cash or Colwill, probably Colwill. Okay, Gabriel, Estepinian, Colwill with Saka, Salah, Rashford, Maddison as your 4-man midfield. That's very powerful. Saka, Salah, Rashford, Maddison, and then in the front three of Alvarez, Jackson, and Kane. I mean, it's not that bad.
I don't hate it. How much is Maddison?
7.5.
7.5.
And then you got Alvarez there. Alvarez is 6.5, so I would give you 7.5. I'm just wondering if
it's not bad. Like I look at this, and I think I look at it, and I think there's heavy hitters in this team. Like people that have got Haaland in generally won't have Kane, or generally won't have Salah, and if they do, they're having to get cheap elsewhere. But let's just see what that looks like on just a set up. So it'll be this formation. This actually looks tasty, guys. It looks tasty without Haaland, but you are going against the like 99% of the community.
Oh, yeah.
You are literally you are literally playing with fire. You are so playing with fire. But it's exciting.
It sure is. Yeah, it really is.
There's no way that
you go on. Going on my points predictions, which is based on just my own opinion, with Harry Kane, he misses out by 4 points on Haaland. That's it. 4 points. So if you're averaging a goal a game for Kane, barring in one of the games, I'm expecting him to get a double-digit haul, whereas with Haaland, I'm expecting him to get 2 double-digit hauls in the first 4 game weeks. That's all you're missing out on. That's it.
But if sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, but if you were to combine, say, Salah, throw him in there, where he's easily outscoring all the midfielders that I've predicted with 31 points. The closest rival he's got is Rashford, who's on 28.
I'll tell you what I have seen as well, actually, you might want to think about, Jason, is the Haaland Kane draft.
I'm actually looking at Salah Haaland draft right now. And I'm actually very close to getting it spot on.
I saw a Haaland Kane draft earlier today, and I kind of liked it too. It was actually pretty good.
Did you?
But the thing is, when do you captain Kane?
Any game. You can captain Kane any game.
But is it going to be the game week 2 where they're playing Spurs? No. Man United. Not really. Man City at home to Newcastle. You've got...
Chat, where can I save, very quickly, chat, where can I save 0.5 million in this team to be able to have Haaland and Salah?
Banana. Get Johnston in.
Why? What's with Johnston, man? What's going on with Johnston?
Come on. That's where you get your 0.5.
Rashford to Bruno.
No.
Oh no.
Just reading what Paulie said. Paulie got shot in a ball of flames.
What is it about Shaw that people are thinking?
Listen, right? Yeah, right. So Anana, right? How many more points is that 0.5 million going to get you above a 4.5? Because like the goalkeeper spot,
I'm thinking cash to a 4.0
anyway.
Cash to a 4.0. Playing 4.0.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you don't need the 5 there, I suppose,
because he's going to be a bench fodder anyway.
Yeah, isn't? Yeah, you don't need it because you're playing Colwill, Estupiñán and Gabriel anyway.
What's that defender that's playing 4.0? Is it Cabor, isn't it?
Cabor,
yeah.
There we go. There we go. That's the team, ladies and gentlemen. That is the team to win the league. Yay. What a bench. What a bench. What a bench. That is the ultimate team. That is the ultimate team right there. Wow. I don't think you can get better than that.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I really
What's
don't.
the team, Jay? Sorry.
Oh, it's all right, Steve. You just worry about your own little draft, mate.
I don't hate that.
The team is Onana in goal, Estepinian, Gabriel, and Colwill at the back. Salah, Maddison, Saka, Rashford as a four-man. So it's Salah, Maddison, Saka, Rashford, four-man midfield. And then a front three of João Pedro, Jackson, and Haaland.
Yeah.
Boom. Do you know what? That's a powerful team. That's a powerful team, guys. I don't know if I would risk. I want to have one. I want one of that Tottenham, because I think Tottenham are going to be attacking this season. I really do.
There's no thinking they are.
And I'd rather have Maddison in than Foden.
You see, it's funny you say that, because my team here. Oh yeah, you'd have Maddison over Foden. My team is in this 3-4-3 to get Salah in. It's Johnston, Gabriel, Chilwell, Shaw, Salah, Saka, Eze, Rashford, Jackson, Haaland, Pedro. But I don't want. I'd rather have Watkins over Jackson. It's finding that 1 million to get him in, and I can't do it without getting I don't want a 4.5 starting defender. I want Shaw, Chilwell, and, well, in this case, Gabriel. I want coverage from Arsenal. I like Man United's fixtures from a defensive point of view. But to get that million, to get Watkins. But again, I reiterate, I go back to my points prediction and I go, well, Jackson actually, in my opinion, outscores Watkins by 2 points.
It's Guffy.
2 points, I'm predicting. But that also includes Watkins to nearly get a double-digit haul in game week 2, but because he's playing Everton, and I expect him to do quite well against Everton at home. Whereas Jackson away at West Ham, it's a horrible fixture, and I don't think he's going to get anything in that game. That's the difficulty of it. I think there's more of an upside to Watkins ahead of Jackson, but I can't find that million.
Yeah, I think the other way you do this is if you do Salah to Barnes, Jackson to Haaland, and I think that gives you the Haaland Kane draft, and I think you can then go Colwill to Chilwell.
But I prefer Salah to Kane.
Fair enough.
Personally. I just personally prefer Salah to Kane. So, look,
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. Yep. I'm very wary of time, Jace.
Yeah.
And we've
got.
I'm
done, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Cheers.
No, thank you, Dread.
This is. I'm saving this draft. I'm saving this draft because I think this is the contender for game week 1. Really do.
Yep, agreed. Thank you, Dread.
Cheers, Dread.
Cheers, guys. Yep, see ya.
There's Dread there. See him on Friday. Is what I'll say. Let's quickly go to who's next. Was it R?
Zimmy, thank you for the grassroots, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Zimmy. Thank you. So I want to bring on callers we haven't had on, Jace, yet. So I'm going to go with Fire Talk to start with.
Sure, yep.
That's all right. So let's bring on... Hi, guys. Hello, Fire Talk. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing? Just mute on the TV.
Wow, I know you mentioned on the moderator meeting you've got a 4.5 rotation, but wow.
Yep. So basically, let me just bring up my planner and I can tell you what that rotation is. 1 second. So it's basically a combination of Brentford, Villa, and Everton. And it gives me home fixtures of Fulham, Everton, Wolves, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Everton, Luton, Bournemouth, Burnley for the first 8 or 9 games.
Yep.
Rather than having Stones or somebody like that, I just thought, do something a little bit different, and still try and, possibly get an edge. So obviously, those teams aren't great defensive teams, but they've got great home fixtures. So there is a good chance that you could get a clean sheet. So that's a little different than the template. I mean, obviously, a lot of this team, it's going to sound a lot like Dread. And Dread and I, this is the first time I've seen Dread's team. But we've got the same kind of strategy, I think, but a little different formation. So I've got a little bit of a difference there with the Patterson rotation, but I've still got the template covered in Anana, Gabriel, and Chilwell. And then I've still got the template covered with Martinelli, Rashford, or Saka and Rashford and Haaland. Same as Dread, I've got Joe Pedro. But that's just for 1 week. My plan, well, potentially for 1 week, my plan would be to change Pedro to possibly Gakpo in game week 2. Or I could change Rashford to Salah because I've got 3.5 million in the bank. So I've got options of where to go there. So the rest of the team is fairly set. All those guys have got reasonably good fixtures except for Barnes. But I actually quite like Barnes as a differential because Barnes against City, I think that's perfect for him because City are going to be playing high and Barnes is a speedy guy. So there's a chance that he can get a breakaway against the City defence. So I'm not frightened of a away to City fixture for Newcastle because I think they could score in that game.
Yes, yeah, agreed.
So yeah, that's where we are. And then, as I say, Pedro is the one that would go to possibly Gakpo. But if I do go to the Salah route, then in game I'd probably roll 3. In game week 4, Salah would go back down to Rashford, and Pedro would go to Jackson. Then I'd hit the Chelsea fixtures in game week 3 or 4. So it gives me options. A 3.5 in the bank gives me options. This team is good enough, I think, to get through game week 1, and then I'll spend that 3.5. One, I know a little bit more. We don't really know what's going into game week 1. Going into game week 2, we know a little bit more. We'll know who's starting for Liverpool. If it looks like Gakpo's starting, then I can easily go Pedro up to Gakpo.
Makes me sick, you guys that have got all this money.
Well, you got the same amount of money.
Yeah, but in Firetog's case, and Dread's case, they're not spending it on the defence.
Well, funny enough, you can make some quality teams if you go light in the defense. Like who would, like, you can get Baldock, you can get Colwell, you can get Cash 4.5.
These players aren't. Well, certainly Cash isn't a gap. Well, he's guaranteed for the first couple of games at least. But he's
Patterson's good. I like the Patterson pick.
Everton though.
Going to be tight. The back. Would you rather have Cash over Patterson?
Yes.
Thoughts, Firetog? Why not Cash over Patterson?
Well, I've gone for Poe. I've got Villa because, as I say, it's a 3-way rotation. I'm not going to play Patterson or Fulham because they've only got Fulham, then they got Villa away. But I've got Patterson at home to Fulham, then I play Power away at home to Everton, then back to Patterson for Wolves. Then I'm off to Pinnock for Bournemouth and back to Poe for Crystal Palace, and then Pinnock to Everton. So I'm not putting 4.5 in there with him expecting to play more than one or two games every 3 or 4 weeks. So that's what the 3-way rotation is about. It's not about having, like, do I want Cash?
So you'd be rotating the 4.5s.
Yeah, I've got 3 4.5s
for the fixtures. Yeah.
Yeah, and each one of them plays about 3 games in the first 8 or 9. Just chasing the easy home fixtures.
Thoughts on the 4.5 pick of Colwell, or is he too short term to be worth replacing Patterson with?
I don't know that much about him, but if he's nailed, then it's a great choice, isn't it?
He's not nailed as in for the season, but he's certainly going to be a strong starter early on because they're a bit light at the back at the moment.
Chelsea's fixtures were great after game week 1, so game week 3 they become really good. So I mean, you get Chelsea defender.
Do you not think that 0.5 that you can have for Estepinian is worth it?
So I've avoided Estepinian because come game week 3, you're going to be selling him, and then who are you going to replace him with? There isn't that many good 5s around. You'd want to get a 5.5 to get into the Shaw, the Stones, or the Chilwell, or the Jameses. So to me, it's a transfer waiting to happen. And I don't really want to be making defensive transfers. I think if you're going to make transfers, you're making the attacking premium players potentially that you're chasing, fixtures and points. You don't want to be fighting around with changing a 5 million defender to a 4.5. We're using up a transfer for that. So I've kind of set mine up to really leave the defense and focus on the attacking players with as the fixtures change. Now, last year I tried it, but last year we didn't know what Haaland was going to be, and the plan was to do that changing the captain each time and going between a De Bruyne, a Haaland, a Salah, and a Kane. But in the end, it's pretty much perma captain Haaland. So my theory is now, although it's got the captaincy on Saka, the theory is change the 8 and the 9 million players, leave Haaland there, don't bother changing that, but do the transfers on the 8 million, 9 million midfielders. And that one striker position's up for grabs, basically.
Yeah, makes sense. Different way of playing the game, Steve-O. More tactical, isn't it? Arguably.
I'm just going to give you John Harris's comment before we let you go, Firetalk. This team has got give up after 3 weeks written all over it from John Harris.
Oh,
that's fighting talk.
That is fighting talk.
Buffy here saying this has got the zombie team again for you, Firetalk.
It can't be a zombie team because I have to make defensive subventions every week.
I have to say though, this 3-4-3 formation with Salah it's just really annoying that I can't have bloody Watkins in it.
Why does he want Watkins?
Because he's going to be so crucial to Aston Villa this year. I think.
How much is he?
He's 8 million.
It's too much. Bridge too far, isn't he? He's that awkward price point of 8 million, unfortunately.
I wouldn't go as far as say it's an awkward.
It is. It's an awkward price point.
That's a good price point.
No, it's an awkward. Anything over 7. Anything over 7.5 is awkward when you want to have the likes of Salah and Haaland in your team up front. So like you're going to have what? I mean, I've gone through if you want to have a decent defense, you've got 6.5, 7.5 max to have as a third, or as a second striker. Sorry. It's very hard to squeeze that value out of your team without sacrificing elsewhere on the pitch.
Yeah.
If you were to get in like you said, Watkins, you'd have to downgrade some defenders.
Yeah. And I'm just too... Luke Shaw, Jace, as a Man United fan, how good a pick is he? Or is it that close between... I mean, I've got it down here as between Onana and Shaw. Onana outscores him because of save points. By three.
Just want to address the Andre D, member 32 months. Thank you so much for the support, Andre. Good luck for the new season. Join Hangouts for FPL and other things. Thank you so much. And reminder that Discord is open for all. Discord.gg/elite FPL for FPL managers to chill out and talk about FPL via voice and text. But yeah, I think answer your question, sure is a good option. But I think for 0.5 less, Onana gives you that coverage with United clean sheets plus the save points because he's gonna get saves. But sure, we'll get the odd assist every now and again. But I think Onana just about tips it with the price of 5.5 less. I love Firetog's. I do love Firetog's idea of rotating the 4.5s. I think it's really smart, and it allows you to have a bit more money thrown up front as well, which is nice. And it's certainly he has got a nice midfield strike force there. So yeah,
and 3.5 in the back.
and 3. Well, what are you going to do with that 3.5 in the bank?
So, like I say, it's there for
To
flexibility.
get one of Haaland. To get one of Kane or Salah if you needed to.
Well, I can't get to Kane, but I can take Rashford to Salah for the Bournemouth game if I want to.
Yeah, that's quite a big move.
Or I could, if I didn't want to do that, then Pedro would go up to Darwin on Gapco if I want to go that route to get the Bournemouth fixture. Then I could come out of that game the following week and go back down to Jackson and stay with Jackson for the Chelsea run. It's just a bit of flexibility. I can go anywhere I want with 3.5 in the bank and those price points that are there.
I'm actually really thinking of having a 4-man midfield, Steve-O, of Salah, Maddison, Saka, Rashford.
It's a disgusting. It would be front three: Haaland, Jackson, Pedro.
Yes.
Yeah. Is Dalot nailed for Man?
No. I think he's a preferred, but I wouldn't say he's nailed. No, he's a preferred, but I would see him playing Wan-Bissaka against certain opposition. I think Dalot is most likely to start, but I would be worried every game. I'd be worried about the team sheets, like to see if he's.
Varane is a guaranteed.
How much is Varane?
5. And that way it means that I can have Gabriel, Chilwell, Varane, Salah, Saka, Eze, Rashford, Pedro, Haaland,
Varane
Jackson.
is, but then why would you go Varane over Onana for the same price point?
Because I don't want a 4.5 starting defender.
Right, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Who's your keeper in that? Who's your keeper?
Johnston.
That's not a bad shout.
This 3-4-3, it's getting in Salah because I know what I'm going to be like. It will get to game week 2, and I'm thinking I want Liverpool.
I'm just doing what you've done there. Just doing what you've said about then has just enabled me to have Johnston in goal, Gabriel, Colwill, and Varane as my back 3, and then with Saka, Salah, Rashford, and Maddison as my starting 4. With Pedro, Jackson, and Haaland, and get this, Garnacho as my first sub.
Yeah. So basically, between me and you, it's Eze and Chilwell versus Colwill and Maddison. That's all it comes down to between me and you.
Right.
That's how tight it is. And God, I'm just looking at my points predictions, and Jackson 20 points, Fernandez 17.
Thank
and
you,
that's
Connor.
only based on the fact that the assumption is that Fernandez is it's not much of a goal scorer, is he, Fernandez? He seems to be the player that likes to set up a lot.
I mean, people are saying, why Garnacho? Well, what's the best 5? There's no great 4.5 midfielders. And I think for 5 million, Garnacho is an absolute gem. Like, tell me a 4.5 midfielder that's worth the 0.5 saving over Garnacho. Garnacho plays 20 minutes. He's still likely to get something out of it, I do feel, against most opposition. He's very lively. He's very attack-minded. He only knows one thing, and that's to run forward and to create chances and to cause problems with the opposition. If he only plays 20 minutes a game, I'd still be happy with him coming off the bench for me if one of my players wasn't playing. He's exciting to watch. I love watching him play, and I think that he's much better than Sancho. I would rather have Garnacho as a first bench than any 4.5.
Thingy, Matty's saying predictions are just predictions. Yeah, but we base our teams on our predictions, and I'm pretty good at my predictions. I may be the odd point here or there. I may miss out on the odd double-digit haul, but within reason, I look at it and go, well, what's the likelihood of this happening? Nah, let's just average it out. Hence the likes of Maddison, where, he may not get an assist versus Brentford, but then in game week 2, when he's up against Man United, he gets an assist there. But then in game week 3, when he's got a really
Andre D,
fixture.
sorry, just to address Andre D, I don't want necessarily have 3 Man United. I don't need to have 3 Man United starters in my team. 3 is, most people are going to have 2, right? I think the third Man United spot is open for interpretation. You can literally go with 2 defenders, 1 midfielder. Like I don't know what the issue is with Garnacho. Like people obviously haven't been watching Man United. People haven't been watching Garnacho, but anyone that's got half a footballing brain knows that he's going to play a very, if he stays fit and healthy, Garnacho is going to play a very, very substantial chunk of the overall Premier League games. It's going to be featuring in a lot of games, all right? Whether he comes on as a 20 minutes, whether he plays, whatever, if he starts the game and comes off, he plays 20 minutes here and there, that's fine. If he's as a first bench option, he's much better than any 4.5 fodder that you can get out there in midfield. And he's certainly, not a waste of a Man United slot, because most people are not going to double up a Man United midfield. Most people aren't going to double up a Man United defence. Most people aren't going to go Onana Shaw. Most people aren't going to go Anthony Fernandez or Fernandez Rashford. Most people are going to go one of each. So I don't really see what the issue is there. I think it's a really sensible, balanced team looking at it.
And he's better than most 4.5 options.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It really is a. When would I play him? Well, when the fixture warrants it. But to be honest, I don't need to necessarily play him. Like I could literally play. Who would I bench for him? I mean, maybe Pedro. Yeah, Pedro for him. On a bad, if there's a bad fixture for Brighton, I might just play Garnacho over him. But literally, the way the team's set up, I think that team set up on the screen there is fine to game week 4 wildcard. That is a game week 4 wildcard team set up right there. The fixtures are good for all of the teams that are on the screen right there. Cole's not going to play for Chelsea forever at the back, so he's going to be a fire that needs sorting out as well. Game week 4, all of these issues and all of the players in the team that are becoming a problem can get solved with a game week 4 wildcard. So I honestly think it's a very valid. I look at that team now and I think I could easily start game week 1 with that team quite comfortably.
I just keep, from my personal perspective, all I've got in the back of my head is I love my 3-5-2. It's very, 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 very safe. And there's nothing wrong with safety. But I don't have any Liverpool coverage in game week 2.
Hey, Jay, can you just drop the link to the Discord in the chat? Connor's looking for it.
Yes, absolutely. I'll stick the link to the Discord in the chat now. That's
the biggest issue that I have. But I do like this 3-4-3 in front of me. I must admit, I do like it. And if I don't like, although I've looked at the history and Wolves versus Brighton, it's goals, specifically in Brighton's favour. So if that helps anybody's decision making, there you have it. It's just goals, average score of 3-1 to Brighton. But certainly Gabriel, Chilwell, Varane.
There's been a question of Gabriel or Saliba, which are the better two. Now, a friend of mine actually, I don't think there's much in it, but somebody did say that.
What you mean, Big Pete?
Yeah. Saliba said. Sorry, he was saying that Saliba's played so many less minutes and was involved on the same bonus points or something like that. Let me just double check that. Or if it's
hey, do you want to knock me out and bring somebody else in?
Yeah. So Fire Talk, thank you so much, man, for coming on. You've influenced my FPL team with your cheap at the back. I like it.
Sweet. All right, see you guys.
Take care.
Cheers, Fire Talk.
We'll
bring on nuclear atoms because he's been waiting for a.
But like Saliba, like last season he played so many less minutes, and he managed to get like pretty much the same amount of bonus points. It's maybe a better option.
Gabriel's more attacking. I know that pretty much.
You know that,
Nuclear atoms. Good afternoon, evening, whatever day it is in your place.
Oh, can you hear me?
Hello.
We can hear you loud and clear. Where's your team, mate? Oh, there. I've got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Well, What do I do?
Oh, you haven't got Salah. Ah, right. I see.
Yeah.
Anana in goal. Estupinan, Gabriel, Chilwell, Rashford, Fernandez, Saka, Martinelli, Watkins, Pedro, Haaland. Oh, you can't be benching Stones, nuclear atoms. If you're benching him, get him gone.
Well, this is what this actually brings up the point that Roman Jarvis is talking about in the chat. What do people think about what's his name? Guardiol. City have just paid 80 million for him, 5 million defender. Surely he gets minutes. Costing 80 million. Is that the case?
With,
City just throw money around. They don't care.
Like, we have to wait for the league lineups. Like, if like Gavardio starts, and I'm probably gonna switch Stones to Gavardio.
He's not going to start this game, Nuclear. He ain't starting.
I'll just wait for the league lineups. If he doesn't, I'll just like keep Stones. Like,
he won't. But why would you be benching Stones?
Because I want Chilwell to play in the starting 11 because it's a Sunday game. Like, things change on Sunday, and I want someone for that Chelsea versus Liverpool game. And also, like, first game of the season, like, Burnley won't want to lose. And it'll be a real disappointment start to their season. So, and company does know some
we
things
are
about
losing it.
What do you mean losing it?
We're going to be losing the game 2 or 3-0, 2 or 3-1.
Yeah, but I can expect you to like score one goal at least, because Man City isn't the most reliable of like getting clean sheet because of Ederson.
Yeah, but do you not feel that having a 5.5 premium team player on the bench is just a waste of money, and you could just put him down to a 4.5 as an example?
But who am I going to get, though? There isn't much option. I'm going to need a Manchester City defender later on, like in game week 3, when the fixtures turn for the better for defensively.
Do you need a Man City defensive option when you've just said just now that they're not great defensively?
Like, they're not great always, but they can keep some clean sheets, so I'm going to bank on that.
At home, yeah. So their home fixtures. So Sheffield United away, they'll keep a clean sheet. And admittedly, I've just said about home, but away, they'll keep a clean sheet because Sheffield United are useless. Fulham, guaranteed clean sheet. Nottingham Forest, clean sheet. And that's it.
Yeah.
So what? That's 3 clean sheets in 8 game weeks? And they'll keep a clean sheet against Wolves. That's 4. So in half their games, I'd expect them to get 4 clean sheets, and probably Burnley, I'd expect them to keep a clean sheet as well. I'd sack off Estupinan, play Stones instead, and just bring in a 4 million Estupinan replacement, or whatever the money is that you've got.
It's Luton and home, though. Stones is away to Burnley.
No, I know that, but I'm just trying to.
You're just trying to take a premium asset, right?
But the thing is, you've just said defensively, I really want them from game week 3, which is fair and which is fine. I'm just making the point that across the 7 fixtures, so 1 to 7, they've got a high probability of keeping a clean sheet against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 opponents out of 7, and yet you're not wanting to play a Man City defender against a Burnley team who, yes, they will try and play football. Yes, we're going to try and score. But if we do that, Man City are going to fuck us up. And we are going to lose heavily. So I don't think...
the new stoppage time rule...
Don't worry about all that nonsense. It means nothing.
It's always the howler with Ederson, isn't it? Like, he just loses it at the final minute. Like, if he loses it in the final minute of, like, around the 80-minute last season, what is he gonna do this time around?
Okay. But then surely you're contradicting yourself, because then you could apply that to every single fixture for Man City. If I'm actually positively backing you by saying I think there's as a probability, Man City have got 5 clean sheets out of 7. Let's just say 4. Okay, if you think Burnley are going to score against them, which to be honest I do as well, but 4 clean sheets out of 7. But what's to say that Nottingham Forest at home, the referee has put up, or whatever the linesman has put up, 20 minutes added time. Are Nottingham Forest going to score in that time? But it's not going to be 20 minutes. It's going to be what?
Those are easier opponents. Those are easier opponents than Burnley away. Those are like home games, or even if it were away games, their attack is shoddy and they don't have like good strategies to attack, while Burnley actually has good strategies to attack Man City.
But we don't have the amount of chances that we need to create to score 1 goal. Like, I always made this point. My biggest frustration with Burnley last year was that we needed to create about 20 chances to score 1 goal, even though ironically we were scoring an average of 3 a game. But the reason why we were scoring so many is because we were taking pot shots from outside the box, and just by pure luck, they were going in the back of the net. But there was no one in the middle, apart from occasionally Ashley Barnes or Jay Rodriguez, but they're not good enough in front of goal. Now, we've got Lyle Foster, who, okay, apparently he's performed very well for pre-season, but I don't see him being that prolific goal scorer that we need. We've then brought in this ex-Basel player who's called what's his bloody name? Amdouni, but by all accounts, he's not a striker. He's more of a left side winger and stuff. And on this Turf cast, I listen a Burnley podcast, they brought on an expert and they said, look, you'll be lucky to get double figures out of him for goals and assists this season. So we're then relying on then Rodriguez, who, again, as well as he played for us last year, whenever he did play, he still needs lots of opportunities. And how many opportunities are City going to allow Burnley in the first game to score? I'd argue, 4, maybe 5 at most. We're not Arsenal. We're not Arsenal that absolutely tore, in my opinion, Man City to shreds yesterday. They completely dominated the game, Arsenal. It's just they couldn't put the ball in the back of the net because they've got some prat called Havertz up front yesterday, rather than playing a proper striker in Nketiah. But if you're having Stones on the bench, again, this is just my own bias. I just think putting a premium team player on the bench against Burnley is the definition of madness. If anything, I'd rather put Chilwell on the bench against Liverpool, because I've got Chilwell as predicted against Liverpool 1 point versus Stones, who I've predicted 2, because I just think we will score. But as an actual probability, just from my own heart, I think we'll score. But as my head, we ain't scoring against Man City.
Well, at least like you have some people to create chances and score goals. The other teams you named, like Fulham, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, they don't have anyone up front to get those goals. You can, at least I can like count on Burnley to get that one plucky goal to piss off everyone with that clean sheet. So that's what I'm banking on. And actually, they're at home. Well, first game of the season, newly promoted side does do well in the first game of the season because they have the element of surprise, I say. Pep doesn't know how.
The thing is, though, is Man City. If we were playing Fulham or Brighton or West Ham or Aston Villa or Crystal Palace, I would say, do you know what, Nuclear Atoms, you're right. I would expect us to get a quote shock win. It's Man City, though. Like,
I'm not like expecting you to win. I'm just expecting you to score 1 goal. I don't need you to win. I just need
of course,
1 goal.
But then what's your but what's your expectations of Chilwell against Liverpool?
Chilwell against Liverpool, because he was one of their most advanced players on the pitch. Since Nkunku's gone, he's now given license to go even further up. James is more like sitting a little bit more deeper in their own half and defending more, while Chilwell is the one who's attacking on that left side, being almost a left winger. And Liverpool are really crap at defense, so I think Chilwell could really hurt them at home as well at Stamford Bridge. It's not Liverpool at Anfield.
So really, it's a case of you're expecting attacking returns from Chilwell, an assist.
Yeah, since it's a home game and Liverpool are really bad at defense and they haven't reinforced in the summer in defensive side.
What are you predicting for that game?
2-1 win to Chelsea.
Oh, okay, 2-1. And you think Chilwell, of those 2 goals, you think there's a high probability of getting an assist?
Yeah, and he's taking lots of shots as well, I've seen in preseason from like right outside the penalty box, so he could even manage to sneak in a goal. So I'm banking on that attacking return.
Even though it's Liverpool, whereas, again, without wanting to repeat myself, Man City away at Burnley, who, like I say, probability-wise, probably ain't going to score, and they're going to lose 2 or 3-0.
I think you're thinking too big of Liverpool's defense. Like, they aren't as good as before, though. Like, Van Dijk hasn't been the same since his injury. Konate has been hit and miss. They just lost the CDM. Liverpool fans are crying out for a CDM right now. So who do they even have? Trent can't defend. Robertson can't handle all of them on their own. So then Chelsea are looking really good in attack.
If I was a wise man, which I'm not, I'd be putting 1-1 on that game. Just a boring, well, I say boring. I think that Pochettino will come up with a plan to hold off the Liverpool attack, and he will try and hit the counter on Liverpool, and I think they'll just cancel each other out in a 1-1. However, my head/heart thinks it's going to be a high-scoring, end-to-end 3-2, mainly in Liverpool's favour because they've got so many attacking players. And do I expect Chilwell to get a return in that game? Possibly. But to be honest, I think that there's more chance of, in your dilemma right here, I personally would be playing Stones over Chilwell, even though on both occasions I hate that idea because they're both premium players. But in this specific case here, I think Stones has got more of a higher opportunity to get a return or returns than Chilwell.
So, like, if I play like Stones over Chilwell, then should I like switch Fernandes to a Liverpool midfielder just to have one player for that game? Because I want one player for that game.
What Liverpool midfielder would you have?
I would say Diaz because he started most games, and he started today as well. He started the Bayern game as well. That's what Liverpool fans were saying. Like, that could be the main like game to watch when it's a big team. What's gonna be the lineup? And Diaz started in that, and Diaz started today. So Diaz should be the second nailed in that attacking options, second to Salah.
Yeah. Again, I mean, Diaz/Nunez/Gakpo/Jota versus Salah versus Fernandes.
I really wanted to see out game week 1 for Liverpool asset just to have more clear idea of who's gonna start for Liverpool from those midfield options for game week 2, because that's the one we give the most damn about, right? Like, I only need Liverpool asset for one game, like that Bournemouth game. That's why I set up like this, just to switch Fernandes to a Liverpool midfielder, either Jota or Diaz, and then switch Jota and Diaz over to any midfielder that has good fixtures later on, maybe like a Madison or Kulusevski, something like that.
I mean, I'm just looking at it here. I'm thinking what you were just saying there about the opening fixture and everything. Pedro does look like a fucking good option.
Like, he's on pens as well. I think he took like 2. Like, 1 day ago he took 1, while every main player of Brighton was on the pitch, like Mitoma, March, Gross. Gross was supposed to be the penalty taker, but João Pedro is the one who's taking it, and he's their like most expensive signing as well. And he got the number 9 jersey as well, so he should start. He got one of the most minutes as well in preseason. So if a player gets like most time in preseason, I should be predicting like they should start the match, right? Like they should be one of the main players in the starting 11.
Nicola, you've come up with some excellent points. Thank you for coming on. You looking forward to this season?
Yeah, I just wanted to start already because I'm set up with my team. I've been building it for months now, and I'm finally ready with it. So I really wanted to kick on. I really want, like, I've gone with this approach. Like, my team looks really boring, right? But I really wanted to go with a different approach because I've been playing for 5 seasons now. Like, in my teenage years, I just want to go for, like, exciting options. Like, have a little bit different than the template picks, but now I just want to like take a different approach after 5 seasons. After all among those all 5 seasons, I only had like one normal season, and it was in my first season, the 18-19 season. After that, the 19-20, it was like Project Restart, lockdown, and then 19 and then 2021 it was the whole like fans no longer in the stadium, penalties were given too many, and then the next season it was like unexpected postponements and another like lockdown events, and then and recently last season it was the World Cup. So I only had like one normal season. I'm looking forward to a normal season this time.
Agreed. Cheers, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers, man.
Right, I think we've got time for one more caller, or what's your plan, Jace? Yeah, one more. We'll get on a Ray Qureshi. He was the individual who came on last week and one of the fans. Ray, my friend, you are live. Just need to he's done it. He's unmuted his mic. He's become a pro, and he said, "I want to share my Salah draft." Well, I've seen about 50 Salah drafts tonight.
Why is Odegaard not being talked about? Just a question.
It's that 0.5, isn't it? It's that 0.5 extra.
Sorry, I can hear everyone. I'm so sorry. I can hear everyone.
And we can hear you. Talk to the nation.
Yeah, I can hear Julian as well. FPL Dread.
Is that Dread's real name, is it?
Oh, no, sorry. Whoops.
No, it's just that one of my favourite characters in A Clockwork Orange, who's pretty much a side character, is called Julian. So
Okay.
if that is actually the truth, from now on, Dread, I'm sorry, mate, but you are constantly going to get the Julian. That reference is going to go everybody's head other than my brothers. Julian. I found it funny. Ray, there's no team here, so basically you're going to have to talk to me and Jace about Salah because
I put it in a waiting room, Steve.
Oh dear, we've got an amateur, Jace. It's to go in the team screenshots, Ray. So above where you've been waiting, just above that is in the team screenshots.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. It's Salah. Go.
Where am I getting it from?
The waiting room. I don't know.
He's posted it in the rating room.
Yes.
How's he done that?
I have no idea.
Oh,
if you're able to,
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, if you can bring up, yeah, cool.
Ray, yeah, Ray. Right, here we go.
Ray Mysterio.
Yeah, Ray Mysterio, 619. Here we go.
Booyaka.
619.
Okay, we got Onana in goal, Gabriel, Estepinian, Chilwell, Rico Henry, Martinelli, Salah, Rashford, Saka, Haaland captain, and Pedro up front. So he's going with a 4-4-2. Steve-O. It's a different formation. Do you like it? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, it's got Salah in.
Salah and Haaland. I don't know about Martinelli though. Don't think you need him.
Why is that?
I think he's not going to be nailed for constant minutes. I think Trossard might be coming in and stealing a few of them from him. You know, ironically, it's a bit of a lesser impact to what you'd expect from Garnacho. Really, I think for that, how much is it? How much is Martinelli? Is he like 8 million?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too much for that worry and that uncertainty. Personally, for me, anyways, like you got Foden at 7.5. It's similar situation, really.
I don't think so.
You don't reckon? You don't think?
No,
You don't think Martinelli's at risk of reduced minutes?
No, but the thing is, you have to treat it in sprints, isn't it? You're probably looking at it from a longer time duration than I am. I mean, I'm looking at games 1 to 5 before Europe kicks in. And
games 1 to 5. How many minutes would you expect Martinelli to be involved in? Like, would you over the course of those 5 games?
I'd expect probably 60 to 70 on average each game.
Mm.
And being a fan as well, an Arsenal fan, obviously I have invested interest as well, is I think the explosivity he offers far outweighs someone like Jesus, for example. I know Jesus is injured, but I think with the opposition that we're up against, I'm really just attacking the fixtures. And then probably by the time we play yourselves, Man United, I could possibly look to take out a Martinelli.
You don't think Trossard sits him on the bench
Madison.
One of those games, though?
No, not at all.
Really? From what I've understood, Trossard's been brilliant pre-season.
Yeah, but then Trossard can come into the false 9, which I expected him to do in the Community Shield. So Havertz playing in there was very surprising to me. But what Martinelli offers, which is what we don't really have, is the explosive off-the-shoulder running out of all our forwards. None of them have it like he does. Not as rapid off the ball either. I mean, Saka is brilliant on the ball, but he's not as rapid. So when Ødegaard picks up the ball, for example, Martinelli makes those runs from the left forward position brilliantly to penetrate the area. And when he does that, Trossard likes to dip a bit on the left as well. So I think Martinelli will definitely start the opening 3 games. I have no doubts about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you've got conviction that he's gonna have the majority of the minutes and start the games, then I completely.
However, because I don't want to be just that guy that is building his own narrative.
No.
If you went for someone like Maddison, I think Maddison will get more minutes because I think the team will play through him. So I could definitely understand both arguments.
I think if Kane stays at Tottenham, Maddison has to be a real consideration.
Either or, though, right? Because he'll probably be one of the main creative cogs.
Yeah, but I just think that without Kane in that team, the clinical finishing is nowhere near the same. Son's been off the boil for a while now. Richarlison, I wouldn't trust. And I think the other options aren't strikers. So really, it all comes down to the fact that if Kane stays at Spurs and he's going to start game week 1, Maddison should be a consideration for a lot of people if they have the available budget to have to offer it in midfield. And obviously, I would argue people that want to save that 0.5 can do so if they was to downgrade the likes of Martinelli in this instance, or if they've got Foden in their team, they may want to switch Foden to Maddison, someone that's going to be, like you said, the lifeblood of the team, the one that the team's going to go to, is almost going to be the Ødegaard of Tottenham. That's how I see it, like the fulcrum between midfield and attack. So, yeah, I mean, strong team. I like it. I don't know as much, obviously, about Arsenal as you, so yeah, I bow to your wisdom on Martinelli on this. But
please don't. No. Again, I'm not trying to be stubborn at all, but no, I think
maybe that's why I want Garnacho in my team, because I like him.
No, but the thing is, I love that shout. I love that shout because with one of the FPL content I'm part of as well. One of the guys actually looked at Garnacho as an enabler. And last season, whenever I saw Garnacho, I'm like, this guy deserves to be in the first team more than Sancho, more than Anthony.
He's a brilliant
player.
He's
unbelievable. I think you just have
Wolves. He's everything you want in a winger and in an attacker. He goes one way. He doesn't cut back. He doesn't go backwards. He goes forwards. He runs into the box. He's not scared, and that's what, the worst case scenario is if Ten Hag tried to convert him and to try and get him out of that mindset of just going hell for leather, get into the box, take on defenders, try and get the cross in, get the shot in. We want players like that in FPL. We want players that are exciting to watch. Yeah, I agree. Sancho, he hasn't lived up to his reputation at United, and certainly the pressures on him, the big price tag, etc. Garnacho hasn't necessarily got the same amount of pressure. He's very free. And judging purely on merit, on play performance alone, Garnacho should be nailed on that left wing as long as Rashford's playing up centre forward, up top. But we all know that Ten Hag is probably going to favour Sancho because we're looking after Sancho. We're making sure that he's happy, but when it comes to pure football, Garnacho deserves to be there.
I think you make a great point. I mean, just from a footballing aspect as well, he's kind of like the street baller. Players like himself, players like even Martinelli, but a bit like what you're saying, he hasn't lost any of that youthful enthusiasm and probably naivety to take on players all the time and just have direct running.
So what Ronaldo used to do, wasn't it? When he first came onto the scene, he just all he wanted to do was just take on players. He didn't want to.
Exactly.
He didn't look up as much as he should have done, and he didn't look back and think of the bigger picture. He was more like, let's just take players on, and he'd lose the ball constantly, but it would be exciting to watch. And then that one time you'd get around a player, it would be like, right, the ball, there's space now, there's space for him to get a ball in, and tapping in the 6-yard box, and that's the thing. I would rather watch football played like that. I'd rather watch Garnacho run down the wing, and one in every 4 times he goes past the defender in the box and you make a major goal scoring opportunity. I'd rather that than just watch sideways, backwards, cutting inside. I mean, Anthony, a lot of stick on Anthony, cutting inside, going back, one trick pony with the finesse shot, left foot, But I think he's going to develop. I think he's going to get better, and I just think for 5 million in FPL, Garnacho, this could be that season for an enabler. For even if you're just going to have him on the bench, even if you think, right, I'm going to have him first sub. If he comes on, he comes on. 20 minutes of a game, he's got the ability to do something. He's got the ability to change a game. He's better than a 4.0 or a 4.5 fodder, isn't he? He really is. And
I love. I mean, when you were talking, and it was obviously after I put on my my screenshot, because I'm obviously an amateur, but is that Henry could go to a Baldock and then Anderson could go to a Garnacho, and I could play a 3-5-2 with Garnacho in there, and first sub could be Pau, and I'm pretty relaxed.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. Garnacho could come on the 75th minute, but get 25 minutes.
he really could, and I don't know about you, but I just as a non-United fan, you can appreciate Garnacho. That's the footballer you want to watch in the Premier League. That's the style, especially in that position. If we can marry it for FPL points as well, even if it's reduced minutes, even if it's 25 minutes, 30 minutes a game, I do think people are going to jump on him. I really do.
And he's only 5 million, so I've already categorized him as like a cheap punt, and I don't mind that with this team.
Yeah. And he's not a massive risk. He's not a massive risk at 5 million. And I think that people are getting I think people are just maybe so I don't know. They just think, right, we have to have a sure starter. We have to have a sure starter in my team, but you can afford that one position to have that wild card in your team, that one punt in your team that could easily just outscore anything else in that price range and that price point. And that Garnacho pick is that one. And it does take up a Man United slot, but I don't think that matters because majority of people aren't going to go triple United in their team to start with.
Not if they have Salah. Salah, yeah. If they have Salah, this is something I drew up today because most of the time I've been the 3-5-2 with, Bruno, Rashford, Martinelli, Saka, and no Salah. But the more I think about it, I just feel it's good to go up, down, if that makes sense, rather than down to up where you're really chopping your team around. And I think you're right, is that Garnacho has a possibility of returning much more than Henry. Henry will get more. Okay, let's use Henry as an example.
Yeah.
I mean, Henry will get more minutes. Obviously plays for a decent defense, but his limit will always be 6 points.
But if you see United's team sheet and you see Sanchez playing left, but Garnacho's on the bench, Garnacho's coming on.
Definitely, especially with the stoppage time.
And when he brings Garnacho on, it's not like Ten Hag saying, right, play the line, don't go too far forward, keep your shape in midfield. You know what he's going to say to Garnacho: get on that last man, be ready to turn him, get in the space, provide a pass or shoot for goal. That's what he's going to say. It's a bit of a no-brainer for me, to be honest.
So when Garnacho signs his new contract, what percentage are you getting? Because you've obviously advocated him so well.
Well, no, listen, most people won't listen to me. Most people are going to stay clear of Garnacho, and that's fine. But I don't think it's a risk. I really don't think it's a risk, especially if you're planning on using him as a first sub. I really don't see where the risk lies. And just rotating him into your team when you think the fixtures dictate it. I just don't. I don't want to go around in circles, but I really don't see why. I don't see the hate for Garnacho by some people in the chat. I really don't. But this is a great thing about FPL, right? It's a great thing about football opinions, that we can all love different opinions and enjoy different play styles. Some people want to play super conservative and safe, and they want to just have the major sort of like stalwarts, the pillars of the team that are going to start game in, game out. And then others want to have like the risky players that are going to, potentially have that ability to score big at a very good price point. The likes, we've discussed earlier on, the likes of going, Luis Diaz in midfield, 7.5. He's been playing very well. He's consistent. I think that out of all of them, I agree with Adams. I think that he's a pretty solid pick. 7.5 midfielder. You could have him instead of Salah. With that money, you could throw it in elsewhere on the pitch. It's a massive upgrade. Or you could just you could look at the likes of Maddison, 7.5. I mean, I think he's going to be more teams as we approach the deadline game week 1. I love that the Jao Pedro. Some people could argue that he's a rotation risk, right? Yeah, he's going to get minutes, but you could argue that he's going to have minutes managed as well. But people are throwing money in him because he's 5.5 and he's a bargain. So people are getting Jao Pedro in. He's on penalties. He's a bargain. He's 5.5. But I would argue he's just as threatening, just as attacking as Garnacho. And
the problem is, the problem I have is at the start of the season, you have to curb the amount of kind of punts and mavericks you have in the first 11, especially with a Salah draft, because you can see there's obviously sacrifices that have been made, but the likes of João Pedro is not certain in the 11. I mean, we have confidence he will, but he's not certain. They have 13 attacking players to fill about 5 positions. And then with Garnacho as well, it's very much a punt. And in the beginning of the season, we have to be careful how much stock we want to put into punting with certain assets. I agree with you about Garnacho, absolutely. And I think everyone does as a football fan. But obviously with FPL...
Yeah, it's a different thing. Yeah.
Completely different. And if I have Garnacho and João Pedro, I at least want to, with this draft, I at least want to equalize it by having one playing defender on the bench. And I think that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think ultimately so many teams are so similar as it is already. You go through these drafts, so many of the same players. It could just be those fringe players that you take a risk on that just come out of nowhere and get you that extra bit, those extra points to get you up, bump you up the mini league. So it's definitely worth thinking about. Certainly, I don't advocate everyone, going for punts in their team. In fact, I would probably advise people to go safe and just go with a safe 11 and some cheapy subs. But I like a bit of excitement in the game as well. I don't just I don't want to be boring with my team. I want to spruce it up a bit, and certainly when I watch United, Garnacho is one of the favourite players. When he's playing on the pitch, I just, maybe as a selfish, biased United fan, I might just want to have that option of getting points from him as well. But again, that could just be my rose red tinted glasses that are coming through.
Oh, it is, but I see the logic as well.
Thank you so much, Stevo.
Nothing I can add, really. I think you and Ray had a brilliant discussion. I'm just tinkering around with my team in front of me, and it's just all I keep coming back to is my 3-5-2 formation, but it doesn't have Salah in it. I can happily sacrifice Watkins for game week 1 for Pedro. I'll happily do that, but I just keep coming back to this 3-5-2 without Salah, and I just go, those, in my opinion, pretty much a guaranteed double-digit haul against Bournemouth in game week 2 versus, for argument's sake, Martinelli 2, Fernandez 5. It's a very, 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 very horrible decision to make.
What do you think, Steve-O, of going no Salah but bringing in the likes of Luis Diaz? He's not going to match Salah, but he's going to cover that Liverpool midfield.
No, but it's the rotation, isn't it? Even though Klopp loves Diaz.
Yeah, but he's also kind of... I made this error last season, as maybe a lot of us did. We brought in Grealish because he had all those outstanding doubles at the end of the season, and he was nailed in the team. But I don't feel any of us really felt like he could really haul, and it was Gundogan that hauled, and they were the same price. I feel with Luis Diaz, if you're looking to bring him in, it's just to cover a Liverpool spot rather than having true belief that he could haul. So I'd rather go for Maddison or switch to a 3-4-3 and bring in Jackson, a guy I've written a thread on, a guy I am a fan of, then go for Luis Diaz just based on covering a Liverpool asset, if that makes sense.
This is Steve-O's team, by the way. Somebody asked. Everything FPL asked. Steve-O's current team is on screen. Johnston in goal, Chilwell, Shaw, Gabriel, Bruno Fernandes, Saka, Eze, Martinelli, Rashford, Watkins, and Haaland.
It's a great team.
If I was doing predicted points for Diaz, for argument's sake, so I'd probably go assist versus Chelsea, Bournemouth. It could be as high as a goal and assist, but I'd probably just say goal. In game week 3 versus Newcastle, nothing. So 2 points. Game week 4 against Aston Villa, probably 2 points. So really, I'm expecting 2 attacking returns out of 4, whereas with Martinelli, I'm expecting across 4 fixtures a minimum of 3 attacking returns across 4. So it's not an option whatsoever. And like Ray just said about my team, I'm pretty locked with this. It's more Pedro versus Watkins. Now I was just looking at the history. Brighton's history against Luton and Wolves is incredible. We're talking an average of, 2 goals minimum for Brighton. I mean, against Wolves, it's a minimum of 3 goals against Wolves. And if I'm going again based on if they're playing 90 minutes, just for argument's sake. So Pedro versus Luton, let's just say a goal, whereas Watkins, nothing. But in game week 2, predicting wise, despite what the history says, I would say Pedro to get nothing, but Watkins to get 2 goals or 2 attacking returns versus Everton. Game week 3, Brighton at home to West Ham. I mean, horrible. But Aston Villa away at Burnley, that's fucking got goals all over it. And then in game week 4, Brighton at home to Newcastle, horrific. Watkins away at Liverpool. I mean, I've got him down for 2 points, but really, again, Watkins comes out on top of Pedro, and my team, the 3-5-2, is about as safe as you can get. And I personally, all this chat about Salah and stuff, I think I can just get away with not having Salah and Jackson for game weeks 1 to 4, and just go, look, whatever's happened between them two's happened between them two, because at least I know with all these players here, every single one of them is guaranteed, barring Martinelli, 90 minutes minimum. So you could probably throw in Haaland, to be honest with you, but yeah, I'm going to try, I'm going to stick to my guns and stay with this 3-5-2 just because it's safe, Jace.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because you don't want to be taking risks game week 1. Simple as. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yeah.
Why try to be clever when you can just stay safe and then adjust to the meta or to any big moves that you need to do game week 4?
Yeah, and by game week 4, we'll be having a basic understanding of where Chelsea are at. I mean, we could probably guess anyway, but where Chelsea are without Nkunku, because Nkunku sounded like he was going to be a key man for Chelsea, but now he's out for 2 months. We're going to understand where Tottenham are going for, but again, we're pretty certain they're just going to be gun-ho, and hence why in that Tottenham-Man United game, I really do think that's got 3-2 written all over it. And also, like I said, if Haaland looks absolute garbage against Burnley, still gets an attacker return, but looks garbage, but Tottenham go to Brentford, and again, the prediction, the history suggesting Tottenham to score a minimum of 2, I'll tell you what, I would be seriously tempted to go stuff Haaland. I'm jumping on the Harry Kane bandwagon before that Man United game, where again I expect there to be lots of goals, because if Spurs play the way I'm being told by James from Planet FPL says they're going to play, it's just going to be all-out attack. Man United are going to exploit it, and players like, in fact, Animations, if you're listening, I'm expecting Son to do quite well in that game. I've predicted him a goal. I wouldn't be surprised if Son was to do very well in that game, but I'm expecting that game to be very, very high scoring, whereas Man City at home to Newcastle, saw it last year. It's not exactly an easy fixture. Newcastle are no mugs. But then, of course, the following week, it's Man City away at Sheffield United, where I would expect Man City to be scoring 5, 6, 7. Sheffield United are useless. Whereas Spurs away at Bournemouth, that's not easy at all. And it's at 12:30 as well. Tough decisions, Jason.
It is tough decisions, and we're running out of time to make them, essentially. So, do you want to be having dilemmas going into the last 48 hours prior to deadline? Like, that is the question. Do you want to be spending the deadline going over 2 or 3 drafts? Some people enjoy the stress that it provides, or do you want to settle it up now? A lot of people in here are saying they've got locked teams, but there are going to be a lot of people in the chat that say one thing: yeah, I've got a team, it's all set up, but a few days' time they're going to be tinkering around and they're going to be panicking.
Podler saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Man United keep a clean sheet against Tottenham. Yeah, I think you're deluded, Podner. Ray, thank you for coming on again.
Thank you, Ray.
Really appreciate it, guys. See you soon.
Question, Steve-O.
Yep.
So instead of Maddison and Maddison and Salah, instead of Maddison and Salah, so instead of Tottenham cover with Maddison and Salah cover with Liverpool, you could go Diaz and Kane. Harry Kane, centre of attack. So you said it yourself that Salah is going to be involved in, it's almost, I think Liverpool are going to be a bit like Man City. Those goals are going to be spread out that front three. Whoever it's going to be. And I agree with you. Okay, Salah's on penalties. I agree, but I do agree with you. I think that there's going to be less goals for Salah this year, more assists. But I think Kane is going to be he's going to be the fed. And I'm thinking, Diaz, Kane, could it be better than Salah, Maddison? Or is it going to be one of those things that even itself out?
Well, as I said, I've got predicted here, Kane 28 points, Salah 31, Haaland 32, Rashford 28. Fernandes is nowhere to be seen.
But but again, we're talking about composition of our teams. Like,
I know.
it's great to have these dilemmas, and I'm just thinking of it. Like, if Diaz was to show that he's gonna be kind of regular as a starter, that could be an enabler for Harry Kane, for those that have Salah in their draft right now.
Absolutely.
It's it's a really interesting one. It really is interesting. Mr. Scuffy misses a lot. I'm 50-50 between Salah, Haaland, draft, or go big with Salah, Haaland, Kane. I don't know how you can do Salah, Haaland, Kane and have a team that's viable. Let's just quickly see if that is even doable. Salah, Haaland, Kane, viable team with Salah, Haaland, Kane in it.
You'd have so much rubbish in that team, though.
So João Pedro's going to have to stay. Garnacho's going to have to stay. Rashford's going to have to go. Saka 8.5. I don't think I could keep him in. So it's hard. So Kane. So can I just interject?
Salah,
Haaland. Yeah.
If I was to have Kane and Haaland with Diaz, it would be a 4-4-2. It would be a 4-4-2 with Gabriel, Cash, Chilwell, Shaw, Diaz, Saka, Eze, Rashford, and then Kane and Haaland up top.
I'm 1 million short.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm playing Garnacho. So is it really a viable team to have Kane, Haaland, and Salah in your team? No, I don't think so. You'd have to get rid of Saka. You'd have to downgrade Saka. Which is you could do that if you wanted to. And then upgrade Garnacho. But again, you've got 12.5 to spend between two players. I mean, it'd have to be a Matoma or someone like 6.5 million. Eze, it'd be an Eze midfield, 6 million left. It's just not doable, is it? Really? Let's be honest. I mean, who's the other one that people? Is it Diaby? He's 6.5. So you'd have to go Diaby, Eze, Salah, Maddison. Well, no, you wouldn't go Maddison. You would have to go down. Again, this is just quickly throwing together something at the moment. Solly March? No. I mean, it might even just be a case of going 4-3-3 instead of it, because what you can get in midfield really at that point. Matoma could be it, and then go Jackson. Yeah, that could work. You could go Matoma 6.5 midfield, and you can't get Jackson. bloody 7, isn't he? 7.0 midfielder. You're way too top heavy. Like, I agree. You know, it's the idea of having Haaland, Kane, and Salah's nice, but you just can't. You're going back to Garnacho, and then you'd be praying that he starts or gets good minutes because you'll be starting him. But then you can upgrade him. You could upgrade him. You actually, saying that, you could literally upgrade defense. So you could go with Chilwell. You could go with Estepinian. So you could go with an Estepinian at the back. You could go with a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3. Again, but you're ruining your team just by having Kane, Haaland, and Salah. I mean, it's a bit silly. Eze to Saka, you can't do that. Can't afford it really. Saka. Well, I could do that. I could do that. I could have Johnston in goal, Gabriel, Colwill, Varane at the back, Saka, Salah, Garnacho, Diaby, and then Pedro, Kane, and Haaland. I mean, it's not dog awful, but it's very, 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 very unbalanced. It's a very unbalanced team. Cinnamon's right. It's too much money in the premium of Kane, Haaland, and Salah to make it. I mean, you could field that team and you could get lucky, but I wouldn't, personally. Too much money. Right, I think we're done, Steve-O.
Yes. Yeah.
So, thank you ever so much for people tuning in tonight. We much appreciate it.
I think it's been record viewers today.
Has it really been? If you have enjoyed the show, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Please consider joining the Discord. Discord.gg/Elite FPL is the link. You can find the link in the description. It's a great place to be. Great place to chill out. Get on and join us on calls. When's the next stream, Steve-O? We're going to have to do one.
It's up to you.
Wednesday? Should we do Wednesday?
I can get onto Alex Follow to sort something out, yeah.
Wednesday it is. Right, guys. So long, farewell, and we'll see you later. Steve-O, give him a wave.
Actually, I'll do the older middle finger.
He's waving.
I saw you